good evening, and welcome to All Things Quizzes, Quizzy Mondays. I'm your host, Lewis Jones. No Gareth this week. He's been enjoying the bank holiday weekend, and who can begrudge him that? He does a lot for the world of quiz. We thank him for that, and he's given me the reins this week to talk to you about another fantastic Monday night of quizzing entertainment and the quiz week in general. What a week it's been. We will probably get less into the arguments that have been on Facebook this week. We'll talk more about the fun and enjoyment of quizzing, as particularly the things that you saw this evening on Mastermind, which returned for another series with Clyde Myrie, another excellent Only Connect, and a very good University Challenge. Let's see who's in the chat this evening. The usuals. We've got Catherine Burkett, of course, to do. Hey, Catherine. Steve's here. Hey, Steve. Even strong OC performance. Got to agree. We're going to hear more about that very shortly. Our main man, Gerald, of course, he's here. And here he is. Gareth. He's having the night off, but he can't tear himself away. He's here. He's watching. What have I done with Gareth as Sam? We're just letting him chill. We'll let him hang out. Let him have a good time. I'm sure he's going to be sending me notes throughout. We'll promote it to the screen, promote it to chat. It happens. It happens. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be sending me notes on how to do a better job of this throughout the evening. I don't know how to do it. He'll tell me, no doubt. But first, we're going to talk about how amazing tonight's episode of Only Connect was. And to do so, we've got two of the brilliant team of the Mercians. Say hello, everyone, to our friends, Pam and Ian. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, here we are. Good evening. You, this evening on Only Connect, the seventh game so for this season, played the Volunteers. It went well. Let's say that.
You could say that, yes.
You could say it, Pam. These stat holders out there are saying that this is one of the highest scores ever, maybe in fact the second highest score ever, and certainly the highest score since the early days on BBC Four when the game sort of changed.
I think that's what they told us in the studio at the time.
That's what they told you. I remember you saying at the time.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, having made that achievement?
Pressure's on.
Well, yeah, we were hoping for the highest score, but you know.
Yeah, is that the thing? Now you've scored really highly, and you're going, okay, we've got to keep this up for the rest of the series.
No, it's more sort of, is it all downhill after this?
Yeah, well, that's very true. People very excited to see you in the chat, of course. Mostly people, as always, mostly excited to see Polly. Give us away, Polly. There's Polly, our good friend. What no illustrious captain we give Gerald. Where is Jamie tonight? Anyone? Do you guys know where Jamie is?
He goes out on Mondays.
He goes out. He's got a social life. We've got to respect that for him.
I'm dancing or something.
He's a very interesting man, as we saw during the episode, and what performance it was from all of you. So let's get into it, shall we? How did it feel? You were put in first. Is that correct? They won the toss and put you in.
Yeah, we got the first one wrong.
Yes, well, that's it. I was very intrigued to get this first one wrong. I know Gareth will. It will be remiss if I don't remind everyone that Gareth has an excellent video on All Things Quiz, all about your Chinese dynasties.
I know. Never let it be the end of that.
I mean, it's one of these. The number of times I've tried to learn the Chinese dynasties, and it's a quizzing chestnut, isn't it? And
100%.
We should have got that. We should have got that. And
yeah, I was surprised.
We went Ming. I think if we'd managed to come up with song from
yes
words to music.
Well, yeah, clearly, you're too good at quizzes, and you were things
just
this.
rhyming them all and saying Zing, Ming.
Yeah.
That was it.
We were just getting warmed up there.
But hey, that's all right. It was, it was good. But then you came back with a 1 point pickup in the next question with the adding of the letter S to the questions. Do you think maybe the other team were a little bit unlucky that they kind of went the? Yeah.
Well, she gave him a chance to answer the part two, didn't she? Which didn't work with the rhyming. Was it?
Yes, no. They said rhyming, right? And then, but it was just adding an S. had you got the descent one or the ascent one or whatever is in the second one?
No, I haven't.
No, of course.
This is one of Jamie's ones. He's very good with words.
He's famously good with words. Yeah,
He should have been on Countdown a long time ago because he's that good with anagrams and word games.
It's because he's good at maths as well. We keep turning to do.
It all combines.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I've always been surprised that he's not been on Countdown, considering quite how good he is. I've always, I was saying earlier, it was knowing that we were on this series. It was kind of terrifying knowing that you guys were on this series because I'd played you enough times at the Connections online quiz league and had a decent game, and then Jamie had completely destroyed our team in the final round.
You told me that.
I did. He's very good.
Who is he scared of?
Yeah, well, we'll get to that, I think.
We'll get to that. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, how do you find the rest of that first round? Obviously, it ended 5-1 to you guys. I thought you had a really good answer on the card games one. I thought that was a really nice, neat question. You guys play a lot of cards?
I do, yeah. I play canasta and.
Yeah, I know. You like proper card games, Pam. You're not playing a lot of Snap, I guess.
Oh well, no.
No, shame. Below your level, maybe. And then I thought, great pickup on the Hitchcock films music one. I thought that was really nicely done. How many of these questions are you remembering when you're watching back? Had you remembered every single one of these 12 questions you heard tonight?
It was, when was it filmed? The end of March. So
end of March it was, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've forgotten most. Really, were hallucinated ones that we didn't actually get. So we had a warm-up round as well. I think I might have remembered those as some, and expecting them to appear in the final.
Whether that or the next program we film, I think that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, it blurs together a little bit, right? Yeah. I found there's I think my team have sort of pieced together everything apart from one question, and it's driving us mad that we're talking about it all the time. But and then we'll try and remember one question, and it would be something that was on the TV show that we didn't see. It had nothing to do with us. Very annoying. So yeah, you went into a 5-1 lead. The sole point picked up for the Volunteers was that question, picture one on charts, which I thought they did when I hadn't heard of a waterfall or funnel chart, certainly. Putting the bar in. Yeah, can't go wrong with the pie chart, can you? They put that together very well. But then you really put your foot on the pedal in round 2, starting with Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Jamie didn't seem to really remember what it was. Is it a show that you guys have fond memories of?
Yeah, I remember the programme. It's Jane Seymour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like 25 years ago, 20 years ago. I never watched it.
I kind of remember watching it 20 years ago and it being maybe repeats then. But it was a good one. What else did you like in your second round? Anything that I thought your bravery on the hominids question was very impressive.
What's that? I forgot.
We sort of pieced that together with a bit of teamwork, didn't we?
It was great teamwork.
Something old, something new.
Oh yeah.
That one was also good. That was
I wanted to say Victoria's dress for the last one. Something blue.
Very nice.
Instead of the profanity.
That was a particularly good question. We've got here's Gerard in the chat saying the archaism, neologism, loanword was his favourite question tonight. I didn't get it though. I'm the exact same as Gerard. I didn't see it, but I thought it was a beautifully constructed question. I think I'm often quite harsh on the construction of some of the questions on this show, but I thought that was very good. Going back to the Dr. Quinn one, the pictures, Gareth says Quinn was a brilliant spot by Jamie. Got to agree. That was a nice story. The first non-binary player to play in either World Cup, played for Canada at the last 2 Women's World Cups. That was a great pickup.
I wasn't sure whether Jamie spotted it or whether Pam spotted it. They're both pretty good on sport.
Yeah, I was supposed to be the sport person, but I didn't know.
Well, yeah. How did you feel early doors, Pam, being sort of put forward as the one-stop answer for all sports?
I know. Well, I was really on there for anything nature and anything old.
Hey, you cover lots of bases.
There's also chat about. I seem to remember a lot of discussion about who was the best Doctor Who.
Yes, is that left on the cutting room floor? Because it seems that
there's an awful lot of that kind of thing. Victoria has these kind of semi-monologues that she draws you in and out of, and obviously it's padding just so they can
just in case.
But, some of it's quite amusing.
We're quite glad, or Ian's quite glad they cut out the French.
Oh yeah.
You know where it says.
Yeah, what was that? I remember you telling me about that. You sort of made a quip, and then you were glad that they cut it.
She turned around and said, "Would you have wanted to be French?" And I said no, and Ian said yes.
Yeah,
and then,
I think Stanley Johnson had been in the news that morning, and he's got French citizenship as well as British citizenship. So I made some really crap, not very good off the cuff joke about Stanley Johnson, and I begged the producer afterwards to cut it, and he said, "Yeah, of course." I was still worried that he might not.
He's got that little file ready to use.
Yeah, it's compromat. So, but it just says something about the atmosphere in the studio and how relaxed and friendly it is that you can, in the first episode, just feel comfortable enough to make a crap joke.
Yes,
on camera.
Definitely.
And it doesn't quite come across. It didn't seem to tonight. Just how relaxed the atmosphere in the studio was. It almost seems a little bit edited. It seems a bit formal compared to what it actually felt like.
Yeah, I'd really agree. Yeah, I think a lot because of Victoria, obviously, but also because the staff on the studio floor are so good at sort of. Yeah, how particularly the floor manager, I thought was just incredible. Sort of making it a fun place to be and keeping everyone lively. I think you're right.
Really nice.
Yeah, it was. It's particularly for it to be such a weird studio. But let's peek behind the curtain slightly. For it to be quite a weird studio experience, where it's I think you expect the glamour of television. We've seen the Hollywood movies. You expect it to be like that. You don't expect it to be little more than a well-adorned shed.
An auto repair workshop in an industrial estate in the roughest area of Cardiff.
Exactly. You don't expect to be in Splot.
Drive through steelworks to get to it.
Exactly.
Pam and I did Eggheads with a team about a year ago. We went to BBC Elstree, where they filmed EastEnders.
Yeah.
To be honest, that wasn't any more glamorous, was it, really? It was a bit run down.
They really rushed us in and out. You feel like you were just in. Quick. Do you want any photos? Hurry up, get out. Whereas this is
like
nice. So you get to meet everybody and have a good chat and be friendly.
But where only Black's films, they usually do Welsh language children's programs, don't they? That's basically what they do.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a small operation.
It's a little cottage studio. Everybody's really friendly. Everybody's keen on Welsh.
Yes, very, very keen, as they rightfully should be. Yeah. I've promised some people we talk about this, the lunch. So our episode is next week. We filmed after you guys. There was a lunch in between. I thought, again, I've been on TV a couple of times. This was the best lunch I've had. In general, I thought maybe that as I think, Pam, you had the same problem with me, that eating a roast chicken on the bone was difficult with wooden tools.
With a wooden knife and fork.
Wasn't ideal, but it was flavoursome and interesting and hot, which I've not always had.
So there's something for anybody considering going on this show. Take your own cutlery.
That's the most important advice. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. There you go.
We like shapes. You're saying a lunch. Yeah, a lunch. It was good. We had a side salad. We had a dessert. It was great. A lovely. We didn't know you guys were on. I was aware that the also rans were on. I'd been told that. Didn't know you guys were, and then turned up, and then I spied across the room the unmistakable sight of Polly Parrott. I was like, "Wow, this is a serious competition if these guys are here." And then my favourite bit of the lunch was completely shocking Ian by telling me I thought he had one of the best voices in Quiz.
Well, I don't know what that's all about.
He still doesn't believe it. I think Ian has one of the best voices in Quiz. Ian could be doing voiceover work. People should be getting in contact to do commercials for radio. Why not?
Well, certainly I didn't hear myself much on Only Connect this evening.
Hey, you all played your part.
Anyway,
Oh, it's just very true.
Back to food.
Yes. Yes. Tell us about your vegetable Wellington.
Well, it was very chewy, actually. Being a vegetarian, I don't have a lot of choice, and never come across a vegetable Wellington before. But,
interesting.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I like the fact that everybody, the contestants, the crew, and everybody else all sits together in a sort of studio come dining room, like a banqueting hall.
Yes, it was. It was a good atmosphere, wasn't it? It was nice to be in there and talk to people, and everyone to be together was really good. People are agreeing with me in the chat. John Violet absolutely does. And the man Gareth himself, velvet tones. I think, hey, Claire says, I agree, it must be an Ian thing because Ian A has a lovely voice too. It's true. It's an Ian and quiz thing.
You see me going redder and redder here.
Sorry, don't mean to embarrass you. And Jack, obviously, who smashed it earlier this season, we'll see him again soon. Fish and chips with wooden influence was a nightmare. Yeah, I had fish and chips on a future episode. We don't know when that is. We'll see. And it wasn't maybe ideal. Gareth says, food's really good. Before my semi, I couldn't stomach anything, though. Can't blame you there. Can be quite tense in that studio just before an episode. So, yeah, let's get back to the questions. What did you think of, I thought the 6-6-6-6 to 6 one that the volunteers had was really hard.
I'd have got that too.
Yeah,
I didn't know this. The 666 thing for the ranch thing, hadn't heard of at all. 666 for the number of the beast.
I've not been watching Yellowstone.
I've not been, Ian. I hear great things. My dad started watching it.
Yeah, it's good. It seemed a bit cliched at the beginning, but we're into season 4 now, and
I hear it's very exciting. I like Taylor Sheridan. I like Kevin Costner, but that's very good. Well done for getting that. That would have been past me.
How do you know?
Both teams, you did not get the smash hit song "That's Not My Name" by the Ting Tings. That one went dead.
Well, would you expect me to get?
No.
Maybe not, Pam. Maybe not. But that's a shame. I think that's a question we've had in some form in Connections League before. It might have been last season, so it might have been after you guys played your game. But I think we have had that. There's a bit of
words. I would never.
Oh yeah, I know. I think maybe when we had it in the Connections League, there was like crosses next to the name to show that they weren't the name. But I thought that was a good one, and I thought Jamie, very very good to see that A B C D E F phraseology mathematical puzzle one. That was really good, and then also you came up with some. What was the really fun answer you gave, Pam? Something about huge integers. I thought that was lovely.
I don't know.
What was that one?
We've got feedback. People loving the Ting Tings. Catherine Burkett, got the Ting Tings. Steve Oldham wants to know where they come in the Dynasty song. Lovely bit of business. Lovely bit of business. And Claire, not heard of the Ting Tings. Not much. Her ting. Beautiful stuff.
I have actually heard of them.
That one song, great. Shut Up and Let Me Go was also good, as was Great DJ.
I don't know the song, but I just wouldn't have known those words at the end.
I can't. There was a lot to put together for sure. I think I got it in the dying seconds after seeing all 3 clues. So at the end of round 2, you guys were 14-3 up, strong lead, and then we went into the walls. So presumably this was the first time you scored his wall. How would you have gone on it?
I would have struggled with the superheroes. I spotted all the newspaper ones early, so I probably spot ones that other people.
Ohio spotted.
Yes, I saw that one straight away. They also had Christopher's, comic book characters and newspaper terms. Regrettably, as a recent journalism graduate, I didn't see newspaper terms until last. I got the Christopher's and then the newspapers, and then you sort of shout it at the telly, so you're going to help them. Hope they'll get it.
I still do.
But they only managed to get the one group as the connections, but they did know everything. They did get them all together. Some good pulling out of the answers by Victoria, and I was really happy when they managed to. They said American cities, and then were prompted for Ohio cities, and managed to get it. Really good. And clearly they knew their comic book characters because they talked them through them well. And then we get to your wall. So how did that feel? Did you do a lot of wall practice? I know on Twitter, Pam, I've seen you. There were hashtag wall gang. You've been getting involved. So was that useful?
Yeah, I practiced a lot of walls. First season we did online, I was the clicker, so I used to practice a lot. And I think walls are probably my best bit. I just like looking for puzzly things. Cryptic.
And we practiced as. Oh, sorry, Karen.
Yeah, carry on.
We practiced as a team, didn't we? On Postgroup, we had Zoom practice sessions, and
nice.
But, we're pretty efficient at that.
So,
It's known. This actually reminds me. You're the Mercians on the show.
Mercians.
You're the Mercians.
We had a discussion before the program because Victoria said, "Are you Mercians or Mercians?" And I've always said Mercians.
Yeah.
And everybody else said Mercians. So.
Well, yeah. What did they end up going for? What did Victoria end up saying?
Mercians.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind. But obviously, you are the also rans in Connections Online Quiz League. Where normally you also have Neil with you. Was there any chance? Was Neil your reserve? Was there any chance of him being in this team?
Been on before.
Yeah, he has been on before.
Was it in the?
I've missed that.
I think the team was called the Spaghetti Westerners. It was with Andrew Fraser. Andrew Fraser and somebody else.
That rings a bell. So did he give you any advice for it? Did he encourage you? No, didn't care. Didn't care.
No, I think it was much better about that. Did we ask him for any advice? No.
Didn't need it. You guys are pros. Back to your wall. So you had add O for a Marx Brother.
Yeah, I'm a Marx Brothers fan.
A classic one. I think something that we've had before in Connections League. I remember there being a clue for the real name of Judy Garland being Gum plus O.
Yes.
Mouth blank, such as mouth ulcer, etc. The small roles, and I mean, maybe not the group that everyone's expecting you guys to get, but you were right on top of funk bands.
Parliament's
Parliament's the best, yeah.
Yeah.
I just guessed. I said, Cameo might be one. And Jamie said, oh, yeah.
It is.
I remember the others.
He knew the rest. So.
Very, very good. But you got the full 10, the Big 10, and that took you into a 24-8 lead going to the final round. That's a big lead, as we know. Did that help with the feeling of the pressure going into the buzzer? I certainly was afraid of it. Well,
I didn't. To be honest.
We knew how quick Jamie is, so.
Yeah.
Well, that's maybe what I was going to ask. Is Jamie's good?
At the same time, I was buzzing at the same time as him.
You were joining in.
And then
it looked like we don't get them, But Pam and I, we can get them, but
I know you do.
Jamie's going to be there before.
It's just there just before us. And I think I was speaking at the same time sometimes, but then you just think, I won't interrupt him.
No, just in case we.
Don't get in his way.
A slightly different thing or something.
Yeah, I seem to be laughing through it, which is.
Well, good to see you having fun with it, Pam.
So you had notorious in Connections Online for being almost supernaturally quick at this.
He is.
He sees it in front of him when the rest of us are sort of vocalizing our way through the consonants.
And we get almost tempted to leave it to him, whereas you think, oh no, I must go for it as well because he's not always playing on Connections. So.
Occasionally we get them.
Hey, it's a dream team. You all bring things to it, and he's great. So you had some good subjects. You had films that Quentin Tarantino considers perfect. I'm not sure everyone.
What I remember about that is that they had to stop it after the first one because did the screen go or something?
Oh, something happened.
So they said, "We'll stop it and film it again." And Jamie, they said, "And you won it, so you Yes, and I was going to buzz in instead of Jamie. And I was just, when I started giggling to myself, I thought, oh, I better not. They might want to.
Nice.
Because we saw the answer and then they wanted Jamie to do it again. And I thought, shall I do it this time?
Give it a go. Why not? But that was a nice selection. You guys got all 4 of those. A Jamie sweep there, as Jack says. Jaws, Back to the Future. I think we can
just let Jamie have.
Well, exactly, Ian. I just want to know if would you agree that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a perfect film?
No. Would anyone?
No, it's just Tarantino on his own. I think it was a bold choice. Jaws and Back to the Future, I think we can get on with. Then we had phrases to do with roads.
Oh, I like those. Yeah.
Tricky, yeah.
Those were nice, particularly that. What was the last one? It was really long.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
That was the one. Very impressive. Jamie got that.
Way through the middle of that.
But you only won that 3-1, which was kind of pathetic, guys. Come on. You should be doing better than that. There's only a 3-1 win for you on those 4. Then the next set was things that were reunited. 3-1
oh, yes. Friends.
To you guys as well. Yeah, Friends, I think, was the last one. You had East and West Berlin, I think the other team got. Liz Taylor and Burton.
Or the other way around, yeah.
You united them, Pam. And the last one was rhyming foods and food types.
Oh, yeah, I like that. I like rhyming
Tex-Mex
food.
and Curly or Whirly. Yeah, that was a nice set. But that was a massive round. Again, I make that. You got 12 to the 2 from the volunteers, making the final score 36-10. Now, the volunteers are very nice people. They volunteer. That's the thing they do. They've made that sort of forefront of their identity. Did you feel bad?
No, because it's only a game and they play
That's
really
the
well.
spirit.
To be honest, to lose in Only Connect on the telly, you've got to be really good.
That's it. To be there at all.
Does that sound arrogant, or does that sound?
No, not at all. I think you're coming at it the exact right way.
Most people won't have a clue. You know?
Yeah, I think you're completely right. 10 anything is a good score. 10 is a good score. I think I felt in the dressing room afterwards, in the green room, there was a little bit of disheartenedness maybe from them. But, they were on it. There's only 16 teams on a year. They have hundreds and hundreds of applications. And they had a really, a really good game. They just happened to come against you guys who were on absolutely massive form.
They also have never heard of Connections Online, and we came into it having played 5 seasons of Connections Online. So we were pretty battle hardened, to be honest.
That is very true.
We were like the Wagner group of, I don't know.
That's very nice.
let's hope you have a better week than the Wagner group here.
I was just trying, I read too much news. I come up with these crap things.
Hey, I love them.
These bad current affairs metaphors for things.
I'm a big fan. We've got in the chat both Claire and also Gerard. We're expecting Peaches and Herb for things that were reunited, and it feels so good. And just like you said, Jack with All Surrounds, Mercians, Jack's team, our team. There's a lot of connections online. I
was thinking about that. The first few seasons of Connections Online, it was like people who'd earned their spurs on the TV show were coming in, and now it's sort of going in the other direction. It's like people who earned their spurs on Connections Online are now going into the TV show. So
I agree.
At least four teams in this series of us.
It's
the also rounds.
It's sort of invaluable practice, right? Getting into just having more questions to play with than you could be on the show, getting to have the practice on the buzzer. Certainly, now I'm poacher turned gamekeeper now that I'm on the other side of it as a host. But it's the best league, of all the quiz stuff that I do. Connections is the one.
It's so well done.
Exactly, and getting to host teams like you guys is a real joy. In fact,
when we're in the studio, it was just like, here we are on Connections Online, except it's not actually Zoom, and that's actually Victoria Mitchell and not Dave Bill.
Yeah, the jokes are slightly better than Dave Fields. Yeah, ish. Did very well.
So, but you know what I mean? It felt like we were in business as usual, sort of, almost.
Yeah, I try to get that. In fact, Claire's saying here she spotted the Gardeners evented COQL, which they have. They did great last week, and they'll be in. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 other teams that are on this season's show that are making their COQL debuts, which I'm really excited. Yeah, Jack saying it. Yeah, Suncatchers, Gardeners, and Academicals. Really, really good to see. Then also, good question here from Gareth. He's good at these questions. It's like he does it every week. How do you come down to earth for the next match after that?
You just wonder what kind of food you're going to get for the... It's what you focus on. What's the vegetarian option going to be in the next game?
Yeah, it was a couple of months and I was on holiday. So. Yes,
it was a big gap. Was it something you just put out of your mind, or was it something you were looking forward to? Was it knowing how it's going to be? Was there
looking forward to it? Yeah,
just being back in Cardiff.
Yeah, I was in Italy and got home about 2 days before, and some people in Italy had got. I said, "Oh, we've got a bad cough and cold," and then when they tested, they had COVID. So I thought, "Oh my God, I've got to get to Cardiff." So I did bravely.
It was all safe.
It was a fun time there, wasn't it? Because if you had got COVID, we'd have had to drop out entirely because they don't allow substitutions, do they?
No.
No.
Yeah, that would have been.
Said, you shouldn't have bothered testing it.
Yeah, just in case.
I didn't say that.
This guy is lethal. He's all about those wins. That's Ian. Also. From Claire, hopefully the next match is a bit easier. I think talking about the volunteers yet. Hopefully it is. I'm looking forward to seeing that. They will play the losers of next week's match, which I'm in. I'm looking forward to it. And the winners of that match will play your team further down the line. We'll see how that comes. We'll cross that. We'll see what happens. Who knows what could happen?
I can't remember.
It was a long, long time ago. So I think with pretty much everything at this point, Gareth normally asks for your sort of champagne moment. Is there something that looking back at your night, how you felt that was the big moment, something you're really proud of, something you really enjoyed? Or no, that's fine.
I liked the Dr. Quinn medicine woman, Jamie spotting the Quinn and getting that. I just like that question.
It was nice. Good team solve. Anything for you, Ian?
No, I can't think of any particular moment on this one.
Just glad your French bit was your comment was.
Yeah, most importantly, your bad joke was cut. Yeah, I thought it was a great episode. I can't pick anything out particularly. I think in terms of answers, I think you had so many good ones. Obviously, I think I'm going to pick out that Steve here saying nothing champagne about 36 points. Yeah, what's memorable about scoring a 36 point? I'm going to say that.
What is that? Yeah,
the whole thing. Yeah, other than the whole thing.
Moment.
Exactly. Gareth knows it. It's just another day at the office for you guys. But yeah, I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for that something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue question.
Yeah.
I thought that was an absolute beauty, the likes of which we don't always see. But yeah, I thought it was excellent fun. So what are we doing now? We're getting to the end of this. I think I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. If you want to hang about and talk about Mastermind and Universe Challenge, feel free to. If not, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure.
We'll find out. I'm going to play a video, Ian. We're going to find out on the other side.
Okay.
So with the return of Mastermind this week, it's the return of the All Things Quiz Mastermind predictions game. Let's see how people went with that and how you can get involved. Let's show this video. That's That's how you can get involved. So right now, I should be pressing a button that says slides, that shows me some slides to tell you how people have done on this week's Mastermind predictions game, but it's not there. I don't know why that is. Who knows? Claire saying in the chat, Gareth's job's in jeopardy, loses playing binder. Not now. He's thrown this spanner in my works on purpose, so I can't show you just how things have gone. Here is Gareth. He's popped in because he's a pro. He's watching. He's ready to take over at all times. He's added to the stream. Here it is. It wasn't there, Gareth. I couldn't see it in my selection. I don't know. Apologies for that. It's gone away. It's gone away again.
No, I didn't have a chance to read that.
Yeah, Gareth disappeared and it's gone away with it.
When the thing pops up on the screen
quickly. Clearly Gareth being here is important for the slides to be here. That's basically just me and Gareth working out as a team how things work on StreamYard. And that is something we've clearly not worked out. So Gareth, you can bring that in. I know, Pam, you have played in the predictions. What's your mindset when you're making these predictions? What are you going for? What's your game plan?
Well, I've read a lot of Poirot, so I did a lot of those off the top of my
That'll
head.
help.
And the rest of them I just read on Wikipedia.
That's great. See, I didn't think about that. We've got some insight already. Just go on Wikipedia. Why not?
I don't do very well, so I don't do what I do.
Well, you say that, Pam. We'll get to that in a second. Gareth has furnished me with these things, so I'll go through a couple of things quick. First, the winner of If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? The answer this week was claret, and the winner was Katrina Austin with this question. In linguistics, a hyperforeignism is a hypercorrection in which speakers misidentify a pattern found in loanwords and apply it to words and phrases not borrowed from that language. A classic example is to pronounce what English word denoting red wines from the Bordeaux region with a final A sound. That is, of course, claret, not claret. Lovely answer there from Katrina. This week's answer for the question is Daisy. You've got deadline Monday 4 p.m. But today, I don't know how it works. But if you've got a question for the answer, Daisy, hit us with one. I don't know if Daisy, my team captain from OQO, is playing, but if she is, who's the best captain? That'd be a good question for her. And then getting to the Mastermind prediction leaderboard, as promised. Who sits joint top of the leaderboard? It's only Pammy D. There she is with Ed Mason and Nick Reed, 3 points apiece.
Yeah.
How you think? Do you remember what your answers were, Pam? I haven't got them all to hand.
The only one I heard was the 40-hour week one. And,
very, very nice.
I was getting something to eat and getting ready to watch.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. So yeah, Ed, Nick and Pam on 3 each. The following pack on 2, Emma, John, Robert Crawley, Tim Hall, who was preternaturally gifted at this game last season. Let's see if you continue it. Toby, Tom Mead, Chris, Michael, Philip and Simon all involved. And you can go to that link there, tinyurl.com/mm-predict-2023 to get involved. Catherine says, how does it work? Basically, Catherine, you just guess what the answers are going to be in the show, both in the general knowledge and in the specialist rounds. Maybe slightly easier to guess in the specialist rounds. You get 2 points if you come up with a unique answer that no one else has. You get 1 point if it's something that a few people have said. But it's a great way to keep interactive, especially when the answers come up for Mastermind. And with that, we should probably talk about Mastermind. So I'll hide this for a second. Did either of you watch tonight's Mastermind?
Most of it, yeah.
Most of it.
I missed the first 2 specialist rounds.
It was a good episode. We had Christine McBurney, who had the Poirot novels, which, as Pam said, she's read, so that's always a good way in. Chaz Bedford, who did Calvin and Hobbes, which was a lovely, fun subject. Sanjay Nath, who did Drake. No one can say that you don't have a good mix of subject matter on Mastermind these days. And Ruth Hart, who did a fascinating subject, Red Clyde's side. Red Clyde's side. Something I wasn't aware of at all. A really interesting subject, and she did brilliant. Oh, here's Gareth with the actual information.
That was
Predict 3 answers for each special subject, 1 for GK. There you are. It's a great game. Great game he's come up with. But yeah, I thought they did really well. That Red Clyde side thing was fascinating. I enjoyed my socialist history, and there was some fascinating nuggets in that. Yeah, anything stand out in the specialist stuff you saw, Ian?
apart from the fact that I enjoyed Red Clydeside because it sort of gave me a little inkling about a bit of British history that I don't know anything about.
That's it. I knew nothing about it. It was really. It seemed so rich.
You might be interested in.
Yes,
that's Drake. I'm not interested in.
Yeah, I can't. I thought Sanjay, who came off worst in that in the specialist subject round, he only scored 4 compared to Christine's 9, and Chaz and Ruth had 12 apiece. He was quite unlucky. Drake. You think, I'm a fan of Drake. I can just answer questions about his songs. I mean, he's fine to me. I understand he's a big deal, but he's had such a long, understatedly long, and ever-changing career that it was a really difficult subject. When it wasn't just like, what was this hit single for Drake? It was also what song did he dance to in this one episode of a teen drama that he starred in 25 years ago? It was a really difficult subject. Things in the general knowledge round were a little bit more even. Christy McBurney got 10. Sanjay Nath got 6, bringing his total to 10. And then it was really a battle between Chaz Bedford, who scored 11, but Ruth Hart absolutely smashed it. Scored 14, 26 in total, with 23, 19, and 10 the other scores. I thought there's some really strong score for a first round. Often, you know, when it's the first episode of a series, you think, are they going to move these around to show us like a really tight episode of something? But it wasn't that. It was just a really, really strong performance by Ruth. And really,
they don't necessarily show it the order they film it.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it was.
I was filmed the first one last
year,
or the year before, wherever it was, and we weren't on till months later.
They were saving you, Pam.
The more exciting one on the first.
No, they were saving you for prime time. They knew when they were going to get the viewers. They were going to get the Pam TV viewers in.
No, it was the other way.
But some good people. Gareth saying Red Clydeside will send me to learn more about it. Yeah, totally agree. Something I've never heard of. I'll at least read that Wikipedia page now. And yeah, he said Drake was a hard category. No single source. I think that's another massive thing. You can't just read a book about these are all the things that Drake has done.
Yeah,
I could agree with that because when I was applying, I was originally going to do Lady Gaga as a specialist subject.
Of course, you're a big fan. Sadly, James Devine Stoneman took that from you. Sadly, you know, he did it and did quite well on it a couple of seasons ago. I think. He did. You know, the guy. You missed it, sadly. Gerard says Drake sings one song, has a microphone in his hand. They all sound quite the same. I think that's actually quite offensive, Gerard. Sometimes he wears like a mic on his face. Sometimes he has it in a stand. He can do it all. He's a multifaceted performer. We've got from Gareth, no mention of that Drake meme. None of that, sadly. There's one where he's going, yeah, that's good, and there's another one where he's like that. It's a good meme. I'll find an example of it on Facebook and tag you in. Catherine smashed Drake. She got 6 points on Drake. Doesn't say she's a big R&B fan, but did quite well. And Gerard, Drake has got over 200 Billboard Hot 100, to be fair. That is, when you think about that, that is massive. I know streaming has changed the way that charts work, but that is, big score.
Does that mean he's had 200?
It's like, yeah, he's had 200 songs in the top 100 songs in the American charts.
How old is he? 200 separate songs? I
think he's 40 odd. He's certainly, there's a lot of things where people are saying he's talking to people he shouldn't be because they're too young. So I think he must be 40 odd. Weird guy. Lewis Tuff, good first name, Lewis. Memes should be a subject in itself.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see it, and so would Ian. He loves his memes. But yeah, back to the whole show. Final word on it. Ruth was a really great winner. Can't disagree. I thought normally I'm not a massive fan of the interview segment that they've sort of added in the last few seasons at the end of the show. Not always that engaging, but Ruth gave a really nice message where she said that she applied because she was watching the show with her father last season. Sadly, he'd passed since, and she found out that she was going to be on the show afterwards, and you know that really inspired her. That was a really, really nice story, I thought, and really enjoyed it. So that is all for Mastermind. Now I'm going to find another video that Gareth wants me to play. Where is it going to be? It says Produce 73 subscribe video. Subscribe video. I guess it's this one. Let's play it.
If you like what we do here at All Things Quiz, then please make sure you click the subscribe button. Please also click the like button that helps YouTube to recommend us to other people like you. You can also share our videos with others and click the notifications button to make sure you're alerted whenever we release a new video.
There is. Gareth says he's changed the name and he should have told me. Oops. That's it. He's putting pitfalls in my way to try and make me look a fool this evening. I'm trying to get through it. No. Thank Gareth.
You're doing very well.
Thank you, Ian. Very kind of you. We're having fun. So let's get to the last quiz of the evening, which was University Challenge. Did either of you watch much of it?
Yeah, I watched it all.
Saw the end. I was replying to lots of people.
Very popular you are, Pam. You'd be doing it anyway, let alone half an hour after you've been on national TV, we know. So this was a good match between UEA, the University of East Anglia, up in Norwich, versus Strathclyde. And
it was a mention for Dennis Lasdon's architecture there.
Yes, the architecture at UEA. Being a Suffolk boy myself, I didn't go there, but I did. I am from Suffolk. So Norfolk not far, and certainly as kids at school, we'd occasionally have sort of trips there as like talented students. Yeah, maybe punishment. I'll never. Let no one say that I'm not obsessed with lunch, Ian. But I will never forget in about year 10 going there and being given a £5 lunch voucher, which bought a seemingly humongous range of lunch, including a very good wrap and a muffin, which Mark Jones, my friend, ate in one bite. It was an incredible day. And that's the magic you can have at university, like you say. But yeah, the brutalist architecture there is fantastic. Always been a big fan of it myself. Versus Strathclyde. So it was a really interesting match. It ended 2-3-5 to 1-2-5 to UEA. UEA seemed just pretty much on at all time, and I'd say, and I'm always very good at saying this again at the end of the show, I think Strathclyde never were really on final cylinders. Would you agree?
It's all a bit of a haze now.
It's been a big night for you.
You might be right. They had some good moments, so they got a few starter questions right, and they seemed like a good team.
Yeah, they did. They weren't lacking. They just were maybe just outplayed by a strong team.
And I often think on University Challenge, it's like one person on the team just is good at getting the starters quickly, and if they're in one team, then the other team, however good they are, just isn't going to get a.
You can't get past them. Yeah, totally agree.
I have a feeling that I always think that maybe the team like Strathclyde might have just been better than they ended up looking.
Yes,
for a reason like that.
They seem to have a really good range of knowledge. I thought they had 7 starters. 1, I made it to I think 14. Yeah, 14. So that's a big range. But I did think that Strathclyde, as the numbers will bear out, I'm sure, were a little bit better on the bonus pickup as a percentage, and. They only had their 2 players there, Captain Colt and McDowell, who was also in second seat. He got 4. Captain Galt had 3. Whereas the team UEA, they all had at least 2. And Yates, who was in the second seat, got 5. She had a fantastic game in quite an unassuming way, I thought.
They were a good all-round team, and they all got. Who was the one when I watched the end? Was it Jennings on the end?
Yes. He got a couple of late ones. He did really, really well. And they, I thought they played a good. Even when they were in the lead, they were sort of getting through questions really quickly, which I always like to see, particularly in round 1. You're conscious that it's about getting as many points as you can, just to make sure that you come back, even if you do lose. And I thought they played a really good, quick game. There was something where, again, Yates got 5, but there was something in. It was when the answer was Chris Hadfield on the bonuses on people that had been in the International Space Station, and she was sort of like unsure of herself, but she had an absolutely fantastic game. Was there any questions or subjects that came up that you were particularly pleased to see?
There always is, but I can never remember them afterwards.
Luckily, I've made notes for this very purpose.
Oh, okay, go on then.
I was particularly, obviously I'm a pop culture guy, and I love how I've spoken to the guys at University Challenge about this before, that I don't think the academic there's not academic subjects and non-academic subjects. It's about how you look at things. Everything can be treated in an academic way. It doesn't matter what the subject is. And I think they're doing really well with a nice mix of stuff with this. So I really love that early question on Cheers. I love Cheers. It's so good.
Oh, yes, I did.
I
Yeah.
thought that was going to be Frasier, but
Yeah, really close. Frasier characters mentioned. And then that went into a set of bonus on video. So I was delighted. That was perfect for me. On the other side of that, there was sadly some bonuses on the shipping forecast. The one thing that I would ban.
Oh, I love that. I missed that. I'm going to watch it back in a minute and watch.
I'm sure you'll get them, Pam.
One of those things, it's like Chinese dynasties, shipping forecast areas. These things you should learn if you're...
I learned that.
Well, exactly.
They keep coming up.
I wrote a question for Only Connect on shipping forecast areas for Jamie and Ian. He's forgotten already, hasn't he?
He's forgotten.
Oh, sorry.
That's Ian. But yeah,
You might have noticed that at the beginning of Only Connect, I was introduced to somebody who a keen
yes,
memory of, who went to the European Quizzing Championships. And since that was broadcast, I've had a friend request from a lady called Katie Commode, who's one of the top quizzing champions in the world, which is very nice to get.
Oh wow! Yeah, make friends. Great. Why
She's
not?
got sort of all sorts of records for remembering names and faces and all these sort of things. So yeah, but there you go. Other things I just forget. I want to memorize pi to 1,000 decimal places, but shipping forecast areas.
No. Pi to 1,000 places is useful. Shipping forecast maybe not. Gareth promises he's never doing a video on shipping forecast areas. Glad to hear it, Gareth.
It's very romantic. It's lovely.
There's something about it. It's just
the shipping forecast years ago. You know, when it was like midnight Radio 4, they'd play Sailing By, whatever it was. It was so relaxing and calming. I don't know if it still goes on.
I don't think it's quite the same. I think that's the magic of the old days.
The best bit now, if you listen to Test Match Special, there was an Aussie chap on. Whenever they'd interrupt the shipping forecast, he used to say, he used to get really hyped up for it and give it a big announcement, this Aussie commentator. So they made him a cushion cover with a shipping forecast on it.
Well, so he was in Australia listening to the British shipping forecast.
I don't think he really understood what it was about. When he came over here, he had to interrupt the cricket for the shipping forecast. He used to give it a good build-up.
So, yeah. If you go on, he's frozen. So let's take over the show.
I just appeared there. I'm sorry about that. My internet is being weird at the moment. Not ideal.
In a way, anyway.
I'm sure you guys are carrying it. You're the stars of the show. You're the ones who made this happen. I'm just here to push you along. Other stuff that I enjoyed tonight. I loved that the Beastie Boys appeared in both Only Connect and University Challenge. Good to see them pop up. Yeah. For me, one of the greatest groups of all time. Absolutely love them. Great to hear Sabotage in the music round. Jamie picking that up very well on that Hitchcock bonuses thing. And I absolutely loved, I was only talking about Trevor Horn the other day because I think he's one of the most fascinating people in the history of music. But the music round tonight on University Challenge, the buzzing question being Video Killed the Radio Star, and then following that with 3 acts that have had songs produced by Trevor Horn. I thought that was smashing. It was Grace Jones, Belle and Sebastian, and the third one, which was easiest one. I can't remember what it was. It was, of course, it was 2 tribes. No, it was Relax, wasn't it? It was Relax. But yeah, absolutely superb. I'm sure
it took me and Pam back.
Flashback for you guys. I thought that was an extra one. But yeah, another really good episode. How are you guys finding we're asking pretty much everyone so far this season, but how are you finding the new era of University Challenge under Amel?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he's fine. It's just a weird set that we don't like.
Yes, he does look like a tiny little homunculus at the start of the show. Yeah.
He's
a tiny man.
It's been one of my bugbears with all TV quiz shows is that the set design always looks like what I always think of as a breakout room on the Death Star. They always look like these kind of space station dark severe colours. So yeah, Only Connect. University Challenge, new design breakout room in.
I get that. What sets do you like, Ian? Is there any sets that you can think of on a game show you are a fan of that's more the vibe you want?
Only Connect, of course.
Yeah, Only
Well, of
Connect.
course. I liked the one on the answer trap last year or the year before. There was a lovely sort of. It was a midday show on Channel 4 with produced by Anita Rani with Frank Paul and Bobby Seagull. But they were like in nice leather chairs. There was books. It was it was it was like a library. I thought that was a nice set. Tell us if there's any.
Richard Osman's show is quite nice. It's got the bookcase.
Yes, it was that sort of vibe. I think it's nice. It brings people in. It's a warm, comfortable place to have fun with the quiz. I think.
I'd like to go on that show. I always have always have an idea that a nice quiz show should be filmed sort of church hall on trestle tables.
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah, it should.
Outside broadcast, you could do it now.
Definitely, it should reflect how most in-person quizzing is done.
Yeah.
In sort of those sort of little rooms. Yeah, I think I agree with that. But yeah, I agree. I think it's been Amel's really. I think he's really growing into it. I've been really impressed. There's a real warmth that he's bringing to it, which I think's been fantastic.
And they're definitely getting through a lot more questions, aren't they? Which is
mass. As I said, I think we had probably at least 25, maybe like 20 odd. 20, 25. It's been strong and very, very quick, which is great to see. So I think that's all the chat. So we're going to do quiz week. Talk about this week in quiz. What have we got? What we've got in store? First, we have. Is this up to date, Gareth? Was this the week before? I think this might be the week before. I think Jason was on 2 weeks ago.
He was on Brand of Britain, wasn't he?
Yeah, I thought last he was on 2 weeks ago on a Monday, and last week we spoke about Jason winning. Hey, maybe not. We'll find out. Did we talk about this last week? No, we didn't. I don't think we did. So let's talk about the Quizzer of the Week nominees. Who have we got? Simon Alvey, full house in the Summer League of Quiz League of London. Same thing for Patrick Buckingham. Nice score of 13 out of 15 for Amit D in MIM as well. John Esling, he won this week's today's Brain of Britain. I haven't listened to it yet. Spoilers. There are spoilers on this show, Ian. Apologies. Charlie Thritz, also a 13 out of 15 on MIM as well. It's very hard to score anything near a full house, so 13s are always really strong in MIM as well. Friend of the show, Anne Gavigan, 7 out of 8 in OQL USA regions. I think she's going to be on this very show soon. Maybe soon. Keep an eye out.
Missing, I hope.
Yes, keep hope always. Tom Godfrey, also another full house in the Summer League. The wonderful Queen of Quiz herself, Victoria Gross, the only full house in the OQL USA Cup. No surprise, she is very, very good. Mark Marcotte with a 7 out of 8 in USA OQL regions. Gabriella Dina, also a full house in the Summer League. Andre Pereira with an MVP in the Quiz Nations Portugal Season 9. Very, very nice. And Ruth Hart, who I thought was absolutely wonderful on tonight's Mastermind. Let's take a look at the nominees for Team of the Week. Speaking of the Quiz Nations Portugal, Manos Castro, a very strong team out of Portugal. They're the champions of that competition. Martin Fistadal, that's a pun I don't understand, but they're all puns on Eurovision this year in the Summer League. They had 2 wins, including against the League Leaguers. Mary Poppins Handbag. This is Shanine, Ian Toms, Lucy Brandt. Very good. They won 900 quid. Do you need to vote for them as Team of the Week when they actually won 900 quid? That's surely the great gift.
No money in quizzing.
They found the one place, I think, there, Ian.
I'm heading there.
Let's go there next time. See if we can beat them. Matunga Mandram, top scorers in the first round of the Asian Quiz League. Our very own Mercians. You're nominated. Give them a vote. They did absolutely smash it this week. I'm sure you'll agree. Seattle Hypodermic Space Needles, another great team. Top scorers in the USA Regions League. Spare Parts. They beat Chaotic Good MILF Hotel in the Cup, even in a handicap cup. beating Chaotic Good MILF Hotel at any time is extremely impressive. Well done to Spare Parts. UEA, excellent winners tonight on University Challenge. And Urban Fever and Keep the Faith, they were joint nomination for a 52-52 draw in Quiz Nations Asia Pacific. Very impressive. Like to see two teams nominate for the same thing. High scoring draws, always good to see. What else we got? Shout out. I don't know who I'm shouting out. Anyone want to shout anyone out? No. Shout out my boy Jiminy Cricket, as always, but other than that, don't know. Who deserves a shout out? Tell us. Eddie, shout into Gareth. You can go to this link, tinyurl.com/ it's behind the thing, qw28org23. Tell us who deserves a shout out. We love hearing from all your quiz experiences, the myriad quiz competitions are out there. Doesn't matter to be big or small. A nomination like that, that Brewdog quiz win, that's the sort of stuff we like to see. It doesn't have to be formal leagues and competitions. We just like to see who's out there in the world of quiz doing something impressive that you want to shout out. So please do let us know. You can make those nominations also at tinyurl.com/ATQ nominations. Please do keep us informed. Breaking news. These upcoming things. So this weekend, it is the British Quiz Championships at venues up and down the country. I've not signed up yet, but you might see me in Sheffield. We'll see. On Sunday night, it's the All Things Quiz Members Quiz. Get involved. If you're involved in the Patreon, you've got an invite to that. Always excellent. Weekend after is SporkleCon in Washington, D.C., USA. I know that there is a team from OQL, including John Stitcher and Steve Barneman. They're going to be out there advertising OQL to a nation of quizzes, which I think is going to be a really massive thing. Really excited for the new names that get involved and hopefully some expansion of already the world's biggest quiz league. But hopefully they'll get out there and do some more. If you are heading to SporkleCon, hop in and say hi. 9th of September, the Brain of Grizzly Quizly. I think there's a few places left for that. Aidan Lynch running a murder quiz. You playing that one, Ian?
I would love to do that one. I'm on a flight to Johannesburg, I'm afraid. So.
Well, hopefully you can read them afterwards. You are Mr. Worldwide. Then 16th, 17th, the Mirko Miločić Memorial Quiz. 23rd September is the OQL Individual Championships. I have written the 100-question buzzer quiz for the afternoon that afternoon. If you want to hear some of my questions, get down to that. I'm really looking forward to running the event at the Sheffield event at the Red Deer. I've got a couple of spaces left. And then further on in the 3rd to 5th of November in Torremolinos, it's the World International Quizzing Championships. And at the start of December, the Asia Pacific Quiz Championships in Colombo. Lots of exciting stuff. And also open to competitions. The OQL USA League, they start shortly. Pop Culture Challenge starts this time next week. I'll be reading a game, hopefully, after this next week. So get involved. Oh, John Robinson says, Brain of Grizzly Quizly has been postponed. Maybe you'll be able to play afterwards.
Yeah, it'd be great. So
find out. But yeah, this is the last week to sign up for Pop Culture Challenge. I've written some fantastic questions. I think I've got 3 quads week 1. I'm very excited to get that started. If you're not signed up, please do. And if you want to be on TV, and who doesn't, Pam and Ian smashed it this evening. If you want to get involved, go to the Facebook group, the Contestant Hub. I know they also have a Twitter account. Get involved. They're always showing new opportunities there for brand new shows and old. Get involved. Also, the Chinese poetry quiz auditions, they're still there. You can pause and listen to this because there's a lot of information. I still don't really understand what the competition is. Gareth's spoken about it. It sounds fascinating, but I have no idea what's going on. But if you love poetry and quiz,
it was all in Chinese, so.
No, that's not useful to us. I do believe knowledge of Mandarin, at least, I'm not sure how Cantonese is involved, is a prerequisite. So if you're a big fan of the Chinese language and quizzing, get involved. And I think that is... Yeah, exactly. Go do something useful in life. That is, I think, everything for this evening. Oh, here it is. Gareth throws it. Here's the other thing. So this week's winner of Quiz of the Week was George Scratchard. Again, he won last week on... so it's a 2 out of 2 win for winners of heats so far of Brain of Britain. Great series on Radio 4. Joseph Kroll, McKinney Sizemore coming joint second, I guess. Joseph Kroll absolutely smashed it, as he always did, at the MK Ultra tournament. McKinney Sizemore, the winner of Pop Solos. And unsurprisingly, of course, the winners of Team of the Week were Crabs, who again smashed it at the excellent MK Ultra competition last weekend in Milton Keynes. Last week's OT winners also rounds in second place. And Sandy Shore Jam, that is a Eurovision pun I do understand. They came third. Thank you very much for that, Gareth. Yes, so that's everything. Anything anyone else wants to add before we say goodbye?
I think we've covered everything.
Be yourself next time.
We've done, yes. Next week is just going to be me on my own talking to myself about my experiences on Only Connect. The lovely Claire saying, looking forward to our episode next week, Lewis. Thanks, Claire. I'm looking forward to it too. Next week, we see my team, the Video Nasties, go up against the lovely Solomon's family on the last of the round 1 heats of Only Connect. I'm looking forward to seeing how it looks on television and if I can bear to watch it. But we'll see. It should be very good fun. Well, we just don't know. But it should be good fun. It's been a great series, and I'm sure it will continue. I want to say thank you very much to Pam and to Ian for being excellent guests and wonderful people. It's always great to spend time in your company. And most of all, I want to thank the star of the show, Polly the Parrot. Big up, Polly. Thank you very much for everyone watching this evening and everyone catching up later on YouTube. We do this for you. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks to everyone who was getting involved in the chat. It's always good to see you every week. Thank you very much to Gareth for letting me do this. And more than anything, thank you for letting me let Gareth have a week off. He puts inordinate amount of work into this, along with Valerie. They deserve to have a good time. I'm sure you agree. And hopefully they have done that this weekend. And I'm happy to be here in the future whenever he feels like he needs a break. And I'm sure he does, because he really puts the work in. That's everything. Please do remember to vote for your questions, answers to the question of the week, vote for your team and player of the week, and vote for all the stuff. We've got loads of stuff to vote for. Pop on the website, pop on the Facebook, pop on the Twitter, find stuff to vote for. That's everything, I think. We'll see you next week. We love you very much. Goodbye from us all. Bye-bye.
Bye.